Welcome to the Smartcast, Ashwin. Glad to have you here. Let's start with a question about 2020. It has been a year of change for everyone, and we've all developed new habits. We've kicked a few habits. So, what is one habit that you've picked up in 2020?
Okay, 2020 started off, I would say, on a very reasonable note, but we all had to get back to our homes and stay at homes. So I think we all went through the similar challenges. One of the challenge was not able to exercise, not able to distinguish between, when you are working and when you are taking a break. Then there was a lot of stress involved. So I think I also included, I went through a process where I would eat a lot of food. And so very soon, I realized that I have to overcome all these things. So one of the key things I started off doing is I started focusing on my work. I said, let me fix what I have in my hand. At least I have a job. And that resulted in something else. Something which I could never achieve at work when I was in the office was to concentrate and focus on one task at a time and continuously do that till I'm done. I think that discipline and that rigor got inculcated and I got trained. Today, I'm sure if I get back to work, I have achieved that. I have learned how to say no. I am at work, and I think people at home really helped me because they understood that I am working. At work, it was exactly opposite. I had my open door policy. People would come in, I would always entertain them because they had a need. I thought it was a good thing, but it was actually good for me, not good for them. I think the focus and the rigor got inculcated, and that's 2020 to 2020 achievement, I would say.
Something positive comes out of adversity, eh?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, apart from focusing on one thing at a time, what are some of the other impactful habits that you've inculcated that have had a huge impact on your work?
Across 2020 or
across the years?
Okay, I think that every organization you go to, let's say I typically have moved across 5 or 6 organizations in my 25 years. Every organization has a culture, and you have something to learn from that. Also, the people also teach you a lot of things. Like, for example, when I was in Germany, I learned a lot from the Germans about the precision and the rigor they do and the discipline they have. So one of the things which I learned at work is be consistent. People should know, they should be able to predict what you're going to do as a manager or as a colleague. If you are unpredictable, you will confuse them. And be for the people because they're going to be for you. And one thing which I think over the years I developed was, or I think maybe by nature, there is a OCD of being very precise in what I do. So the good thing is you are good at your work, but the bad thing of being a precise is you tend to procrastinate because you want everything to be perfect and you miss on the opportunity. So that also I learned that over a period to let go. You can't hold on to everything to say, I will make it perfect and only then I'll move ahead. So these are the few learnings which has worked for me.
Sometimes building some new routine systems and habits is just as important as letting some of those habits which don't work for you.
And I'll give you an example of that. When I was in UK, I had learned how to drive a car in India. Mm-hmm. And I was pretty good at it. That's what I thought. I had to absolutely unlearn the way we drive in India. It was like the day I got my license after a long wait of 3 months. And of course, in the first go and very good marks and all. But I felt that I had got a citizenship of that country because it was a big deal for me to go through the rigor. Every small thing is observed and then you get that. So unlearning was a big lesson which I learned during those times.
Driving, if you think about it, is such a habitual action. It happens almost subconsciously. We don't think and evaluate each and every action we take when you're driving. And that's why it's a prime candidate for something that can be classified as a habit. Knowing that you have unlearned something and relearned it gives you that much more confidence, saying, oh, this is an ingrained routine for me. If I could change this, maybe there are other things that I can also change.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about habits that you found hard to build. What are some habits that you have struggled to build over the years, in the recent past?
One habit I would say, which I have always struggled and I am still struggling in many ways, is to get adequate sleep, to sleep on time. So that is something which I hope in 2021 I overcome. That I'm not saying that 1 day or 2 day or 3 days. I'm very regular about that. I think that's the lowest common denominator, as I understand. One of my good friends told me, if you want to fix and become successful in life, you have to get your adequate sleep and sleep on time. Because your day, of course, the way I shortcut this whole thing of not sleeping on time is by getting up on time. So
Right.
irrespective of what I go to bed, I get up at when the sunlight comes up. So get less sleep, but work starts. But then there's a fallout. Your efficiency gets reduced. So that's the thing I need to fix, and that's a big thing for me.
There's always going to be a trade-off between how much good quality sleep you get and how productive you are, right?
Right.
Okay. So tell me something that you think is a habit that adults can pick up from children.
Okay. So that's two kids at home and a lot of nephews and nieces around. So when you're a child, you don't realize that it just goes, parents take care of you. You don't realize what you're going through the same thing.
Mhm.
It's only when you have your own child or someone around you and you are responsible for them, you start observing.
Mhm.
Couple of things. Children, the way they develop, they're like sponge. They can take in anything and they don't have biases.
Mhm.
So that's a very good important thing that you take in. Don't let your biases overrule your judgment.
Mhm.
The next thing is they don't require much of a reason to laugh or be happy.
Right.
And as adults, we have forgotten, we are always serious. We believe that as adults, we need to, at least I thought so when I was growing up, that I need to do it in a certain way.
Mhm.
I need to be prim and proper. But I think to laugh, to bounce back, to
Mhm.
next moment you get fired, and next moment you go and start, playing the prank again as though nothing happened the previous moment, which is also a good thing. And then the other thing which I have learned is with adults, if you have a child at home or any child which you can help, if the child is interested in some particular hobby, for example, it could be music, it could be painting, I think adults should indulge in it and take it upon themselves to do it themselves along with the child.
Mhm.
Because there's a child in every adult, and we tend to say we are busy and we don't indulge in the things, passions we would have left halfway or not completed. So I think there's a good opportunity to work with children, play with children, and then do what they're doing. Not like that, not as in they are doing their thing and you're doing your thing and you're watching over them. Get involved, and that's something which I do. I have taken it upon myself to learn piano to teach my child, the younger one.
Okay.
So I really never played piano or never thought I would do it. It was always there. I like music, so I will do something. But because the child has to learn, because he showed interest, I said, okay. One of the reasons why he will not drop it is because if I do it, there is a continuity. And it worked during these work from home days where there is no way I could have got the classes to continue. So
Right.
I'm his teacher, and in a small way.
What I'm taking away from what you've just said is that learning to be resilient, learning to not let things get you down can be a habit, and it can be something that we pick up from children. It's a
Right.
very powerful
And
thought.
yeah, absolutely. And the children are not rigid. They're not stuck up. They just
Right.
let go. Letting go is something I think as we age, we all need to do.
Yeah, and in some sense, habits are about bringing in some structure, but
Yes.
being able to be flexible enough to change them is what really counts in the long run, I believe.
Right. Absolutely.
Ashwin, I know that you are passionate about reading and traveling, and you are a very precise person in everything that you do. So, and I also know that you have built and sustained a reading habit with the CTQ reading compounds for a long time now.
Yeah.
So, what has been a memorable incident in your CTQ compounds journey?
I'll put it very in a very simple way. I think through CTQ compound, I got introduced to a community which has the same value system and same vision and goals like I have. Okay. It's not one incident or one event. Each day, it's that association with, it's a virtual association again. So we don't get to see each other. We don't meet each other, but the wavelengths match. What I think it's a very important thing for everyone to have that something. And I think this CTQ allows you to do that is wake up in the morning, you have that short, brief opportunity to connect with people across the globe, wherever they are. And it's over a period, you'll get to know them also because you do share things. That sharing of some common goal, resulting, and in a blip that event goes away and you're ready. It's like the morning cup of tea rejuvenates you. You are looking forward to the day because you have done something and you have achieved something for yourself first thing in the morning, and that motivates you to do better through the day. I think it's a secret which I don't know whether people realize it, but everybody has a secret that we are towards a goal and we have energized ourselves, we have recharged ourselves for the day. And I think it's a daily event for me. So I won't say it's one thing to take away. Every day I take away a lot of things.
Every day is a new day. Every day is something to achieve.
Yeah.
And every day is something that you can get energized with. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say it is part of your daily routine now.
Absolutely. That's not given up at all. And bearing food there when I was traveling. Otherwise, and I think because we were working from home, it allowed me to continue it without a gap.
Okay, so Ashwin, let's switch gears a little bit and let me ask you a few rapid fire questions after a little bit of heavy discussion. Okay, I know that your morning routine is a little interesting now and you look forward to the reading as a way of energizing yourself. But
yeah,
what is the first thing you do after you wake up?
First thing is, people find it very odd in the house. I actually go and have a good steam and a hot glass of water, warm glass of water. And it is something which I picked up years back. It's not only recent. And because Pune weather is slightly dry, and it's always good to, even if you take it before you shower, just take a nice steam, light steam, whenever you need it, of course, not every day. But the warm glass of water is the ritual, which I have been following for years, God knows how many years.
What is one habit that you wish you had picked up sooner in life?
If I say 20, 30 years back, I was quite rigid. I think only when your children come in your life, you learn to let go because you can't expect them to do like adults. And that's where you learn the beauty of letting go. And it becomes second nature for you. And that's where, as mentioned the other time when I was talking to you, the wisdom actually comes because the children make you go in that direction. So letting go is very important, which I did not do maybe years back.
So, what is your favorite CTQ reading compound article so far?
I won't say a specific thing, but amongst the various articles we get to read it could be art, it could be music, it could be how to correlate between things. But something which I would never read, there was about a year and a half back, there was an article about how China is building a passage all through Eastern Europe countries, right? That got me interested. I read many articles around that, setting up the whole township that some cities are built from scratch in China. But this whole thing of creating a trade route from that region was something I would have never got a chance because it's not mainstream news. So something like that. So that sort of made me realize that, there's some gems which will get along the way. And of course, every day is an interesting day for me with CTQ.
Okay, last couple of questions. Habit that you think was around 30 years back, but isn't around now. What is something like that?
That's very easy. 30 years back, I used to socialize a lot. I used to hang around with the boys in the evenings, spend a lot of time outside home. And now I don't. I spend time at home. So that's a clear thing. So that is a habit, there's a ritual. It was fun. It was part of growing up. But now you don't look at your own self. You look at the others in the family and then you spend time with the children, with your people around in the community where you live. So those things have changed.
One final question, looking forward to the rest of the year. What is one habit that you would like to build in 2021?
My goal is to write a book. But before I read a book, I spoke to one of my friends couple of years back. He said, just start writing. Don't have a goal that you want to write in a particular structure. Develop the skill of writing, just expressing. Once you've done that, automatically it'll come to you. What is it that you want to write? What is it you want to express? Because you don't even know today what you want to really write. I've made a couple of attempts in the past of writing, but after a few pages, I've dropped it. But I think one does not achieve in one straight go. It takes little baby steps and you develop the skill. And then when the time comes, when you have an opportunity, then you get to it. So I think that's going to happen in this year. I'm going to write more and there's an opportunity to do it also. And there's a will to do it also and a mindset to do it.
So writing more consistently is the habit you would like to build.
Absolutely.
I hope you are successful in doing that. And I wish you all the luck, Ashwin.